What is going on, good people of the internet? Welcome to Bonus Stage. We've got another Let's Listen tonight. I'm your host, Josh, and I am joined by Vaughn, famously of the VGM Con crew. Vaughn, how you doing tonight, man?
Great. Famously, Josh. Well, thank you for the warm introduction. But yeah, welcome everyone to the VGM Con Album Jam Volume 3 listening party.
Absolutely. Oh, man. What a wonderful album. What a wonderful cause. We've got several of the artists here on the show prepared to speak to you about their arrangements and about their experience with VGM Con. We will also be joined later by Andre, who is from the Protest Foundation, to speak a little bit about that cause and VGM Con donating and everything. Vaughn, why don't you... Maybe there's like somebody here who doesn't know what the heck we're talking about here tonight. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, kind of how the VGM Con Album Jam started and what the purpose was behind it?
Of course. Well, if you aren't familiar with what VGM Con is, it's the video. We are the Video Games and Music Convention. Um, if hopefully you've heard of us, but if not, we came up with a pretty clever acronym for it. So yeah, we happen every springtime, late spring in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and it's a weekend-long event. That's kind of like a gaming convention meets music festival with all kinds of live music and panels and workshops with composers and producers and streamers and arrangers. We also have open gaming, a speed run marathon hosted by Midwest Speed Fest. And for the past several years, we have been also doing an album that is made during the 72 hours of our event by people sometimes who are at the event itself and sometimes people who are somewhere else in the world entirely, doing it virtually. And so it's a really cool project where a bunch of strangers, sometimes the people know each other already, but sometimes they have never met before, and they write an arrangement and collaborate and record it. They do everything in 72 hours, and it's very chaotic, but a lot of fun. And this marks the third time that we have done this. And for the last couple of times, we are also supporting charities with these albums. So it's a lot of fun for VGM musicians and arrangers, and it's also supporting a good cause.
That's amazing. There's so many pieces here to talk about. The fact that people have to put together music and mix it and record it and master it and all that stuff for an album in such a short space of time. And then of course the fact that you're using it as a vehicle to raise awareness and to raise funds for the various charities that you've supported. Um, this year you've chosen quite a choice charity. Wow, I don't know why it's choosing in so many ways in such a short space of time. But this year, VGM Con has chosen to support the Protez Foundation, and they are a charity organization that helps put prosthetics and rehabilitation towards people who have been affected by the war in Ukraine. Very valiant. We're going to talk to Andre about it a little bit later, but maybe you can speak now just to like why VGM Con chose to support Protez this year.
Yeah, well, they came on my radar maybe 4 or 5 months ago. A friend of mine, actually, if you know Thomas Spargo, he's the maybe you've all heard of him as well. He's the also legendary founder of Gamers Rhapsody and co-founder of VGM Con, and this is all kind of his brainchild from way back in 2013, I suppose, would have been the first event. So I have been learning to speak Russian for the last several years, and when the war in Ukraine started, it kind of felt like it was hitting as close to home for me as it could for someone who is not from Eastern Europe and was just kind of observing it as an outsider. But Tom's mother knew about this and had mentioned to me kind of offhandedly, but by the way, because I'd been out of town for a while, and she had mentioned like, hey, this really cool group started in Minneapolis of all places that's doing this amazing work making prosthetics for Ukrainians who have lost limbs during this war, and that was just immediately compelling to me. And so we had a sort of internal discussion amongst our board of a few different candidate charities, and everyone was really interested in Protez. Number one, they're also local to the Twin Cities area in Minnesota, so we kind of feel that is always a good type of group to partner with, because we can I was able to go to their clinic and visit, and take a couple of guys from Midwest Speed Fest and show them around, like, this is what we're just kind of see what we're supporting, right? And to kind of have it all sink in, that felt really important to us. And also, this was not this was right around the time that the first year anniversary of the war having started. was in February, and so we just really felt the impact and decided that as a team, this was a cause we felt like we wanted to support this year.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure it would be hard to visit that space and see the people that you would be helping out and say, no, actually we're gonna go somewhere else. I can't imagine anybody who could do that. But yeah, no, that's a really amazing cause, and I can't wait to talk to Andre about it a little bit more later on. Oh, sorry, you were gonna pipe up with something?
Oh, just to be clear, we did decide, or we visited after the event.
Oh, after the event. Okay.
We There was an open house. By the way, if you're in Minneapolis or the Twin Cities, greater metro area in Minnesota, their clinic is here in the Twin Cities, and oftentimes, if you follow them on Facebook, you'll see that they have open houses. You can go and see yourself, meet some of the people behind it, and see firsthand the amazing work that they're doing. Also, if you look them up on any social media site, they're very active, especially on Instagram. There's a lot of cool stuff to see of the recipients of these prosthetics and their sort of journey of recovery, both here in the United States and when they go back to Ukraine.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, supporting this album, we have 8 tracks, and while the theme of VGM Con was "Oops All Zelda," we regret to inform you that we have "Oops Only 2 Zeldas." I do want to ask, like,
Tragic.
on the production side of things, putting this album together, I'm purely curious, is there ever like a situation where you kind of have to like turn down a track? Like, could you have been like, sorry guys, it's not Zelda, we're not going to take it, we're just going to go forward with these 2 tracks, and there's your album?
Well, I mean, much like VGM Con, with in terms of who performed live at the event and on our online stage, it while the theme was "Oops All Zelda," we didn't necessarily go around and unplug everyone's microphones and such when there was, a Final Fantasy track played. So, we it was something we of course encouraged, and but when you look at the beautiful wide world of VGM,
Mhm.
it's not just all Zelda. But we just wanted to make sure that there was, a healthy representation from the wonderful music of The Legend of Zelda
Mhm.
and its series. But you know, these tracks, I believe, were also people who are inspired to do the arrangements themselves. We want to let them champion that and kind of, especially when you only have such a short amount of time to work on it. Um, take the inspiration and run with it. We're not going to come in and say, no, actually, you're going to do Dragon Roost Island. Veto.
Yeah,
You know.
Ian Martin. Oh my gosh, awesome. Well, I'm keen to get started listening to this, but before we do, we have a special guest to bring on to introduce her first track, Viron. Viron, we've got Viron Media here in the house. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing really good. You are opening this album with your rendition of Leo's song from Stardew Valley. Can you tell us a little bit about why you chose this track in particular for the 72-hour challenge, and B, what was it like to put it together in such a short time?
Yeah, so I've been playing a lot of Stardew Valley recently. And I can thank my dear friend Caitlin Ayala for that. She introduced me to the game. And Josh was smiling. He's also played on some of these Stardew Valley tracks I've arranged. And I knew that there were going to be a good amount of people at this collaboration. And I was like, well, I like Stardew Valley. I'm going to do more Stardew Valley. And I knew specifically that Leo's song is usually, or the original rather, is just marimba and flute. And I knew Sable was going to be there. And I was like, okay, I got to do this track. And then I
Oh,
built on as much as I could with all the string parts and woodwinds, and had a lot of fun.
yeah, and you not only did that, but you've managed to put together a music video for this one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That's
I do want to mention real quick that for the first VGM Con album, I played for it, and then last year for album 2, I arranged a track. So this year I was excited to come back and arrange again.
Yeah, absolutely. And to play as well. Yeah, incredible job as well. Why don't we get into it? So, we're going to be listening to 2 tracks at a time tonight, folks. Yeah, coming up first here, we're going to hear Vron Media's arrangement of Leo's song from Stardew Valley. And the list of featured artists is going to be very long for each of these tracks, so bear with me. But we are also featuring Sable Providence, Katie Shesko, Warp Whistle Music, Ian Martin, Stephen Higby, Joshua Iyer, Corva Jade, and James the Ludomusicologist. Yeah, and then after that, we'll be hearing Ian Martin's rendition of Rito Village and Dragon Roost Island theme. So let's listen. Well, that was very short and sweet, Ian Martin. Thank you very much. We are joined now by Andre, Madan of Protez Foundation. How are you doing tonight, man?
Doing great, guys. Happy to be here. How are you guys?
Doing really good. Really
Right.
enjoying the album so far. But yeah, let's talk a little bit more about Protez Foundation. Yeah, you've been working as the executive program director
Mhm.
since I think 2022. Am I right?
That's correct. Yeah, I've started the Protest Foundation was founded by Yuri Arashidze and Dr. Jacob Gradiner, and I've started shortly after, maybe a couple of months after they founded the foundation. So I've been there since I think July last year.
Wow. All right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I've
And it's
talked a
been
little
it's
bit.
been a year now, right,
Yeah, it's
of
been
the
a year.
foundation existing.
Yep,
Yeah.
we were founded in May 2022, and we're very grateful for the support of community like your community. We're happy to have such a incredible community support, especially from VGM Con. We brought some right. We brought soldiers there for the conference, and then
Mm,
we had people complimenting our mission. So we're very grateful for your support, guys. So thank you.
yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. What has it been like working with the VGM Con crew?
Oh, they're terrible. Terrible. Don't want to do it
The
again. No,
worst.
they're awesome. Yeah, the worst. No, it's been great. It's been great, and everybody who's trying to help. I gotta say that most of the problems were probably on our side because we're so busy. We are we're the largest private foundation right now in the world that fits yeah, injured Ukrainians with prosthetics. We have been able to help 76 Ukrainian, three of which are children. They're
Wow.
residing here in Minnesota now. We help about 72 soldiers and one civilian and three children. So we've installed about 200, 196 prosthetic devices there. Um, so just kind of give you a glimpse of what we do is
Yeah.
that
Definitely.
the program is there. We have a website, protestfoundation.com, where people can go and learn about what we do, but also the injured Ukrainians can submit their application. So we currently have about 870 or something applications, and we have done 76 people. We see the gap there. So we do need a lot of help going forward. But that thing alone, the people who did not apply are still out there. So we have an information that about 12,000 people right now in Ukraine need prosthetics. So when we're sitting here, people are kind of getting injured and dying there daily. And that's what our passion is, not only to treat Ukrainians who have been injured, but also showcase the horrors of war because it's just terrible. It's just terrible what's going on there.
Hmm.
We have a clinic, as Juan said. We have a clinic in Oakdale, Minnesota. So whoever is from Minnesota can come and visit. We have open houses. We currently have 11 groups of soldiers treated, and we are going to welcome the 12th group of soldiers sometime end of June. So subscribe to our Facebook page. There are a lot of information there, and then we do constant like either meet and greet or other places where you can read the real Ukrainians who participated in war. It's a very rare opportunity for a lot of people to just get the news not from the media, but directly from people.
Hmm.
So
Wow. And as providing the prosthetics, you provide mental health and emotional support during recovery and stuff like that. I mean, obviously the physical damage is there,
oh yeah,
but
absolutely.
treating people with their feelings and processing the trauma that they've experienced is no small effort either.
That is actually a lot. Like so, Josh, it's a lot, right? So
Hmm.
people come here, they're all gloomy, they're all skeptical, they're all hurt.
Hmm.
Community raises them, right? We have a lot of people who come in and show the support and appreciation. So when soldiers leave, it's a completely different set of people. Like you can install prosthetics in Ukraine, right? It's just a piece of metal adjusted to the body.
Hmm.
But the fact that community gives them that support, I think it's more than just prosthetics, a lot more.
Definitely.
And
We,
Andre, what does the treatment process here in Minnesota look like, and then kind of after? Because I know they have a limited amount of time here to work with you at Protest Foundation. So, what does that process for the average recipient look like?
Yeah, so when they submit the application, then once we get the approval, they go here. So the second they step here, they are in the program. They go to clinic every day, right? They live in a house which is dedicated to just the soldiers. We are renting a house, so if anybody has a house, feel free to let us know. We'll gladly accept donations. Um, and then they go there every day. We have a couple of cars donated by very generous organizations around the Twin Cities. And then there are a series of there's a lot of volunteers there in the clinic who are helping fit the prosthetics, right? So they go there regularly. They get physical rehabilitation from specialists where they can learn how to use the devices. And then once they go to Ukraine, and normally we would also send a group to a town or city here in the States. Like right now, the 11 soldiers, as we speak, actually, they are in San Francisco, also kind of doing the event there to meet and greet Ukrainian soldiers event in one of the churches. So, and they're getting such an emotional support there from the community. So normally one group gets one trip, and then they're going back, and we now open the clinic in Svalava in Ukraine. They're getting rehabilitations there if they need adjustments for prosthetics. So that's kind of how it works.
Wow. We do have one question from chat. This is from Sable Providence. Hi, Andre. Do you have PayPal? If I use credit cards on your website, it will charge someone, either you or me, a hefty fee for sending money overseas with the currency conversion and whatnot. Is there any alternate ways that people can donate to Protez at the moment?
Yeah, we have PayPal. I can paste it in the chat, and then I think Van has it somewhere,
Okay.
right? It's
I
Sure.
do.
Send it to me because I don't have only mods can post links in chat, unfortunately. But
okay.
I'll
And
make
another
sure that
thing
that gets there.
you can do is send us the check. On the website there's an address there, so that's free of charge as well, built in. But and thank you for the question. I mean, those are true Ukrainian heroes that do deserve to live better life. And I gotta tell you guys that a lot of people ask us this question. I want to highlight it, Josh, if you don't mind me taking
Absolutely.
a
Yeah.
little bit of time there. Um, why wouldn't you just send the prosthetics to Ukraine and install them there? Would it be more cost effective? And the answer is no, because the
Oh, I think we're getting a little bit of a loose connection from Andre. Oh gosh.
the
Oh, hold on. Okay, there he goes. All right, we'll work on getting him back, folks. Hold on. All right,
Well, in the meantime, Josh, I did send you
there we
the
go.
PayPal link
Yes,
so that we
definitely.
can get that
So
into
Sable,
chat.
yeah, Sable, if you want to PayPal protezfoundation@gmail.com, that'll work just fine. Um, gosh, well, he was just about to talk about why they don't just do it overseas. Um, Vaughn, have you been briefed on that? Do you want to shed any light on that? No pressure.
Um, I don't want to step on Andre's toes on that one, but
All
I
right.
can I think one thing that he would for sure talk about is that so with them having recently opened a satellite clinic in Ukraine, this is amazing because of course when you've lost a leg, two legs, an arm or two arms, the recovery process once you get the prosthetic is not just the 3 weeks. It's not going to take just the 3 weeks that they are here in the United States. And so a common question is what is done to make the most of that time here while they're here with Yakov, the physician working with them, and then what after that.
Mm-hmm.
So one great thing is that with the satellite clinic in Ukraine, if there are adjustments needed to be made, they don't have to come back to here. They don't have to go to a clinic that did not have any knowledge of how this was installed, or any of the specifics of because these prosthetics are tailor made to each individual, and so they can be have their own peculiarities. So the fact that there's a satellite clinic there now makes it so that there can be an ongoing process for that treatment, not just the 3 weeks that they have here, but that can continue. And of course, as problems might develop, or even to create different kinds of
What is going on?
attachments for the
What is
prosthetics,
going on?
that is able to happen also in Ukraine now. So that's great.
Amazing. And we've got him back there. Hi again, Andre. We just lost you as you
Hello.
were speaking to a very important point about why
Yeah.
this isn't done overseas in Ukraine.
Right. And my son just started playing video games, and guess what? The internet went down. So speaking of the video games conference and the community.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, so the fact of the matter is that United States developed very elaborate techniques which are state of the art, right? So they're here in the US. Doctor has been developing that for 15, 20 years of his experience. Plus, this emotional part is extremely important. We're willing to pay, an overhead of, let's say, $1,000, which is kind of nothing. It's a wash in the grand scheme of things for the person to have emotional rehabilitation. I think that's what it is, because he's not hearing the sirens. He's here. He's seeing how the U.S. is helping. The people are seeing that there could be a normal, peaceful life. That's what they're fighting for.
Yeah.
So they're fighting for something that looks like this.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. No, that's incredible. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Sable, you've got the Protez Foundation PayPal there as well. If anybody else wants to use PayPal, there's the address there in chat, and the URL there. You have a donate now button as well. If you want to donate by credit card, please, folks. This is such an incredible cause. If you do have the dollars, we have a saying here on bonus stage: donate $10 to the arts today. But today, let's make sure that we're sending it to Protez Foundation. Yeah, well, you said your son was playing video games, Andre. Obviously, the work that you're doing
yeah.
here, this is some pretty heavy stuff. Are you a gamer yourself? And if not, how do you unwind at the end of the day?
I talk to people like you guys. So that's I play. Yeah, I used to play when I was a kid. Like I used to play little dandy kind of games,
Oh
very
yeah,
very simple ones.
yeah.
But right now I play soccer. I do a little bit of a martial arts. I like to spend time with my kids. And I do this. Like Protez Foundation is consuming quite a bit of my life. So that too. But I just want to say that if people want to have more information, feel free to reach out to me, Andre at protestfoundation.com. I'll answer any questions. If you guys want to go on Zoom and just kind of ask a few questions, we're always open to have something arranged. So thank you. I appreciate everything that you guys are doing.
And thank you, Andre. You as well. All right, take care.
Likewise, Andre. Thank you.
Oh gosh, I was there at VGM Con when I think there was a goal met as to how much was donated. Yeah, and I think
Yes,
Andre said
during
that there was more since then even.
So yeah, we during the course of the event, we got to, I believe it was at the end of Midwest Speedfest stream
Mm-hmm.
on Sunday. It was $4,110. I might be slightly misremembering that, but
No,
we broke
Andre
four
confirmed
thousand
that.
dollars,
Yeah, which is amazing. Absolutely.
and I mean that's thanks to all of the support from everyone at Midwest Speedfest and everyone in the VGM Con community to make that possible. And we're really happy that this album is yet another way to support Protez's important work.
Mm-hmm.
So really, yeah, the fundraiser didn't quite end on Sunday. It's able to continue through, take on a new life beyond VGM Con weekend through all of the amazing music and arrangements on this album here.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Well, I'm going to drop the link to that album in chat. That is an album link, folks. So you can find this album on any of your preferred streaming platforms. And we're going to carry on with some of these amazing arrangements. In fact, why don't we bring on Mike and Katie Shesko to talk about their upcoming track? Here they are. Mike and Katie, how you doing?
Hello.
Hi.
Good evening, everybody.
Oh my gosh. Well, why don't you guys tell us a little bit about your track, what made you choose it, and what it was like to put it together in just 72 hours?
Sure.
Well, first off, this VGM Con was my first time going to VGM Con, and my first performance there. So we were really excited to hop on to. I don't know. It seemed interesting to put songs together in 3 days. We normally take a lot longer than 3 days to put our music together. And as we were kind of on the album, people were suggesting stuff, but there wasn't a lot of Zelda. And I was like, well, we have to have it's got to be a Zelda song. And so we were kind of going back through the songs that I released. And Rivali is Mike's favorite Breath of the Wild champion. So I think that's kind of... And I was like, well, you know what? I think we have a score already done for that. So we can easily tailor that to we ended up not having a score.
Spoiler alert, it was a pain.
Spoiler alert, there wasn't a score. But we picked it because I was like, I think we have a score. And I'm a flute player. I was like, we can easily take the solo flute stuff and add other instruments for whoever's available. And yeah, like you said, spoiler alert, there wasn't a score. So you want to talk about that?
I came basically completely unprepared for this. I thought I'd be able to grab a MIDI track that I used for Katie's version. No go on that one. And I have the whole list of people that I'll go through real quick just to save you the trouble, Josh. But I had to find a whole lot of people. I had to track a lot of people down, and I was a pain in the rear for most of these people, getting them music. A lot of the people here were absolute heroes. Viron especially, I'll tell you what, I gave the track over and I said, can you just play this by ear? Because I can't write drum stuff. And I did. And it came through real nice. It was amazing. But it was tracking people down. It was doing last minute music theory stuff at night with Xavier and Ashley and Ken there. And it was incredibly stressful, and we ended up finishing it at a Starbucks on the way home. So
yeah,
it was wonderful
because we're from Pittsburgh, so it's a 13-hour drive.
Oh,
and we got a hotel halfway, but we stopped at I think it was a Caribou, not a Starbucks.
That was a Caribou.
Yeah, we stopped at
right.
Caribou for 4 hours while he was finishing the mix.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's a very Minnesotan thing. Caribou, proudly headquartered in my hometown, Brooklyn Center, Minnesota.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's the only proper way. If it's not VGM Con Wi-Fi, it's got to be Caribou Wi-Fi.
Yeah, there used to be a Caribou on campus. We went to the University of Pittsburgh, but that closed down years ago. So when there was Caribous out there, we're we have to stop because it was just days of studying for exams and doing homework in a Caribou. So it was oh, this is familiar. This reminds me of college cramming last minute for a project.
It's a natural environment for there's a deadline perfect. And we've got to go.
So if you don't mind, I'll just go through my heroes if you don't mind.
Sure.
I call this is Rivali the Champion Maker. It's the beginning and the end is from traditional Breath of the Wild, the slow section of it, and then the middle part is Rivali from the Hyrule Warriors portion of it. And I always think of Rivali as the true champion maker. I think Link would have absolutely failed if it wasn't for him actually, putting that air of a little bit of competition out there to make him be the man that he needed to be. And that's pretty much what everybody here did too, because it was, I'll just go through the list here. Joshua, I got him the music, probably an hour before he needed to get it in there. And it sounded amazing. Ashley and Ken were with us. Ashley's Corva Jade. We did our recording, at night,
2 a.m.
up about 2 a.m. We ended up finishing it up. Warp Whistles and Imco Ray Music did the clarinet on it, and both of them together were a really rich sound. They sounded amazing. Xavier's 21, and he kicked ass on this. He really sounded great on trumpet. James, the musicologist, I don't know if he's here right now or not, but it was he did the bass track on it that went along with Joshua's track. It made for a real rich bass section on it. Viron, like I said, played by ear. Brandon Harnish did the trombone on it, which was real important on this one, and he came through real quick. And Wendy Lily plays harp. I recorded in her hotel room. That was pretty awesome. And then Sable did the flute. Originally, this was a flute song, so like most of the melody at first was on flute. I moved a lot of it around, but the stuff that Sable did sounded really great too. I was going to write a piccolo section for Katie to play because it was originally her song, and with everything else going on, we just didn't get to it. So,
Wow.
I've talked for long enough.
Oh well, and for good reason. I think you two have put together the largest amount of collaborators on this album. So
We're really extra.
Yeah.
applause to you. No slouching. Yeah,
it was fun, like actually working with like other musicians, because like I do all the solo stuff and like the rest of the backtrack is usually MIDI. So it was an interesting experience to like work with other people, and like actually have like live musicians. You don't get to do that very often. So
and Sable, you don't need to worry because she had plenty of other stuff to do at the con. So.
I was tracking for 2 songs. We were helping Kevin out with like volunteer stuff last minute. Plus I was getting ready for my own performance. So yeah, I was like, it's okay. I'll live. I got to perform on 2 songs, and that I'm happy with that. So
it's absolutely like a convention. Like everybody's just running around with something to do.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's get into it then. Why don't we? This is Rivali, the Champion Maker, featuring all of those collabs that Mike listed, and then we're gonna watch a music video from Joshua Ayer's track, the Turnabout Sisters ballad. So, let's listen. And here we are now joined by Joshua Ayers. How are you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Doing good. Really enjoyed your arrangement of the Turnabout Sisters. I'm a big Ace Attorney fan, so that song just hits home with me every time. Nicely done. Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about why you chose this song for the Charity Album Challenge and what it was like for you putting this all together in 72 hours?
Yeah, this is my first VGM Con ever, so that was kind of crazy putting it together in like just a whirlwind of a weekend. So I haven't actually heard of Ace Attorney until this year. Like gaming podcast I listened to called The Bonus Point. Like they basically cover a game every couple of weeks. They did this game at the beginning of the year, and I'm like, I fell in love with the characters and the music and everything. So I'm like, well, this would be fun to cover for VGM Con because I haven't gotten to cover anything. And this was like the first track that I thought would be like doable to cover. Um, yeah, and I kept it quite simple and kind of put together like with the instrumentation that I had, like I thought like kind of a 70s, 80s, 90s kind of ballad kind of style would kind of work. Strings and piano, and I had Jorge playing like piano chords. He kind of came on later. He just asked to play some. He asked if I could join, even though I was already playing piano. I'm like, sure, you can play some chords. Why not? Less work for me. I could just play the melody at the beginning, and then I had Katie and Sable playing flutes, which was fantastic, and Ian did amazing bass parts, which is really good. I loved what he did with that. And then Viron put together some drum parts, which like I had kind of written a drum part, kind of the vibe I wanted, and she kind of took it and like messed with it a little bit to kind of make. I mean, kind of I think playing a little by ear to kind of make it how she wanted it, which I loved how it turned out. And we were just talking before this, like she loved playing some of the drum solos kind of at the very end of the cover, which is kind of fun. Kind of back and forth between the instrument and the drums. So yeah, this is a fun tune to do, and I hope to do more Ace Attorney music in the future. Maybe we'll see.
Definitely, it's got a real banging soundtrack. Well, I kind of regret not asking this of some of the other people that we've had on, but what was your first VGM Con like?
Oh yeah, I mean it was great. I was actually I just did it virtually. I just did it was a little bit weird because I teach like on the weekends, so like I had to teach on Friday evening and Saturday morning and fit in all of the playing for people's tracks. So that was it was crazy, but it was all I focused on other than teaching. So that was really it was just this, which is fantastic for that weekend. Like I loved just the process of putting it together and focusing on it and hearing the whole album come together right at the end of the weekend. It was so good, and I hope to attend in person one year. That'd be so fun.
Definitely. Yeah, I got to attend for the first time in person this year, and yeah, it was quite the whirlwind. I just wanted to like commend you because it sounded like you actually had, in fact, much less than 72 hours to put this all together. But yeah, just having that single-mindedness can really help for sure. And then to follow up with the video as well. We've been seeing lots of videos from people. It didn't look like you were at VGM Con, but like, were you just like performing as you were recording, or was that done in post as well?
I think it was done in post. I think I just did the recording. I wanted to focus on that, and then I'm like, all right, now I got time, and I can put together a video and take my time on that.
Yeah. No, it really adds a little bit of depth to to the whole experience of taking that in. So excellent job on that.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, Joshua. Well, thanks for talking about your track. We hope to hear more from you soon, and awesome. We'll see you in chat.
Yeah.
Thanks. All right. Yeah, we're gonna keep rolling things along. So we've got guess who? Ian Martin is the primary arranger on our next three tracks here. We're going to listen to two of them. One is Ian Martin's The Peaceful Place. This is from a game called Chained Echoes. I'm definitely going to ask him about that. I'm sure he's going to have a lot of nerdy RPG things to gush about it. And then also we're going to be hearing Ian Martin and Vron Media together on Tombstone, Arizona, which is a track from Pizza Tower. And I believe we might have a music video in the mix as well. So let's listen. Oh wow, that was really cool. They were short and sweet. We've got Ian here. How's it going, Ian? We got Vron back.
Good, good.
Hello again.
Hello again. Great. Let's talk about those tracks. First of all, Ian, let's get back to the Peaceful Place from Chained Echoes. What the heck is Chained Echoes?
So Chained Echoes is an indie game that came out. I think it came out either like right at the end of last year or right at the beginning of this year. But it was something I had kickstarted because it was promising like basically a Chrono Trigger like game, and I'm a sucker for anything that is Chrono Trigger esque. So I was really blown away by the soundtrack in particular, which is by someone. I think he scored a couple of other games, but his name is Eddie Marianucro, and I think he's based in Texas, but I might be wrong. But I was just totally like, I heard this, and I was like, I haven't heard a soundtrack like that in decades. That that really made me feel the way that one did. So, and I just had so many ideas for different arrangements, and so I just felt like I'd just beaten the game right before VGM Con weekend. Okay. So I was like, it was all fresh in my mind. I was like, I gotta get this out. I gotta do something with this energy. So that's why there are two of them here. And then I immediately did another one that not even on this album that Vron played vibraphone on, and so it's just I've got a couple more Chained Echoes things in the works as well. So yeah,
all right, we're gonna have the entire Chained Echoes soundtrack as covered by Ian Martin.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Well, yeah, you haven't held back in terms of the arrangement that you've submitted or participated on this album. So what was your VGM Con experience like? How did you get so bored that you needed to arrange all of these songs in 72 hours?
So I had done the previous two albums, right? I had arranged something for the previous two albums, one of which you know all about because you were on that one too.
Yeah. Village Tree. Oh my gosh, yes.
So good. The beginning of Gamer Tag.
Yeah.
So yeah, but this is like one of those highlights of the year for me. So it's something that I look forward to every year. I love the fact that VGM Con has really embraced like hybridity, right? So you've got the in-person stuff, an incredible lineup this year, but then also a lot of stuff for people at home like me. So I was really grateful to be able to watch that. But I just really, this charity album jam always really, gets me going every year. So, and I was just looking forward to it. I'm like, you know what, I'm going all in. I also performed on Saturday as part of the online stage.
Yeah.
And so it was like, I gotta like get all of this in. So a lot of it for me was like trying to push through a lot of the arrangements on Thursday, which is also why they're really short, because I knew that I was going to be playing on arrangements come Friday and Saturday and Sunday, right? And then I also volunteered to host the album listening party on Sunday evening, which was just kind of the internal thing. But this is like the real listening party here. And so that was just kind of my own just kind of like a celebration for everyone who had participated, right? But this is a really special event. There's nothing else like it out there. I mean, you have other video game music conventions, but none of them are hosting an album jam that specifically like is going towards a charity. So I think that is really in the spirit of VGM and in the spirit of VGM Con as well, which to me seems like the most kind of community driven and collaborative of all of these like video game music conventions. So I just that's why I'm sorry I've been going on about that, but
You can't help it.
Yeah.
We know that about
I
you.
can't help it. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, yeah. Let's pass things on to Viron Media a little bit as a collaborator on the Tombstone, Arizona track. Yeah, we just had a Pizza Tower listening party last week, and we found out that I think maybe one person played Pizza Tower. Viron, have you played Pizza Tower?
I have not. I don't have a PC, so I don't have a way to play it, unfortunately.
Oh, that is unfortunate. Okay, well, no, that's fine. You're just
The music's good, though.
yeah, it's okay. We're discovering that people in the VGM scene don't actually play video games, so you're fitting the typecast very nicely.
Perfect.
Yeah, but in terms of this track though, yeah, what was your contribution to the arrangement, and why did you want to be a part of this track?
This track was really interesting how it came together. So Ian started the arrangement, and then I agreed to mix it since he already had 3 whole other arrangements and a show and everything else he talked about to do that weekend. So I took on the mixing part, and then he sent me a vibraphone part, which I then turned into 2 vibraphones, 2 marimbas, and then I also added shaker and tambourine because why not? So I just kind of gave it the good old percussion treatment. Just added on a bunch of everything because that's just what you do as a percussionist. You could do one thing or 7. Why not?
Yeah, there's always room for more percussion, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, just got that whole stereo field, just fill it up.
exactly. Pan the shaker and tambourine just a little bit left, right each fills up the whole room.
Beautiful, awesome. Yeah, cool. Well, coming up next, we've got another Ian Martin track, "Crimson Wings Spreading Through the Blue Sky." That sounds like it's translated from Japanese. Just a guess. Um, and then we've got Lucas Guimarães with his and the last track on the album here. This is like the first one that was recorded 100% live in person at VGM Con, and it's a real treat. Yeah, thanks Ian and Viron for coming back on to speak about your tracks. We're gonna keep going, so let's listen.
Oh
Wow, a roaring applause to end that track and to end this wonderful listening party that we've had. Thank you to all of you artists who are able to join us here on our Let's Listen tonight. And shout out to Andre as well for joining us. Please, folks, this album is in support of an incredible cause. Go and support the Protest Foundation, or grab the album on your various streaming platforms. I'm going to refresh the chat with the appropriate links so that you all have it there. And yeah, really looking forward to whatever the next VGM Con album turns out to be. Hope to meet many of you there as well. And yeah, other than that, I think we're all good here, folks. Say thank you, say goodbye. Thank you, everyone. Hope you have
If I could
Bye.
say if we've got a couple seconds here, I'd love
Yes,
to
okay.
just say
Go
a few
on.
thank yous on behalf of everyone at VGM Con, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
First, thank you to everyone who contributed to our third album jam, and to everyone who was kind of involved with leading that project. So, of course, Ian, Lucas, Joshua, Mike, and Katie, V-Ron. I also want to thank James, one of our board members, who was definitely like the lead person from the VGM Con side of things. Thank you so much, James, for everything you did. I know that he's not with us tonight, but he's out there somewhere, probably playing a bass. Thank you, Josh, for generously giving us this platform to share and celebrate the release of this album. And then I also want to thank everyone at Midwest Speed Fest and just everyone from VGM Con who participated in this project and helped us support Protest Foundation. It's a cause really close to my heart, and to be able to take a passion like this that I like to do for fun and make it do even a remote amount of good work to support a group like Protest Foundation makes me really happy. So thank you, everyone on this call, everyone who's watching, everyone who's supported VGM Con and Midwest Speed Fest this year to raise funds for Protest Foundation. I'm so happy with how everything's turned out and can't wait to do it again for Volume 4 next year.
Volume 4, 2024. I don't that just lined up quite serendipitously, didn't it?
Almost like it was planned. It wasn't. It was a total chance.
You could have had us fooled, but no, you had to just be.
I could have rolled with it. I got to be honest with the people.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll of course be doing it again next year because of the support of wonderful people like everyone on this call to make it possible. And whether you're at VGM Con here with us in Minneapolis next April, or whether you're at home enjoying some online content and feeling the need to scratch that VGM Con itch, you can help us make this possible too. So whether you're here with us or at home, we hope to see you all next year. And again, just thank you everyone for being a part of this amazing project.
Absolutely. And I'm going to make sure that everybody has the VGM Con website there as well. Definitely look forward to next year. And yeah, I can't wait myself. And yeah. All right, folks, I think we're all set here. I'm going to plan a raid out to a goodly Twitch channel, but otherwise we're going to be signing off. So again, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you everyone who joined, and have a good night.